Hi, I'm Pauline.
Hey, I'm Priscilla.
I'm Pal.
And I'm Tamidron. And welcome to the P3T podcast.
Actually, me who sings it.
But she's on her phone being antisocial.
Sorry, I'm looking at school things.
Anyway, welcome to another episode of the P3T podcast. It's been 2 weeks. Relax. It's not that long. But we are back. Today we're going to be talking about leadership. Again, this is one of those episodes we redid. Not because the quality wasn't the best. Not the quality of the sound, but the quality of the episode. And we can't just, we can't throw haphazard episodes, content. It has to be top tier. So that is why we are here redoing, kind of, yeah? So anyway, let's start with our first question of the day. Oh, this is what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Did I?
We're talking about leadership. Let's move on.
Okay, so yeah, we're talking about leadership. And so our first question of the day is... Our first question of the day is how you thrived as a leader. Let me just say, guys, everyone here is a leader. I'm not even going to lie. Like, we've all led something. And something significant. Sindio?
Significant bit. Okay, yeah.
How do you think you've thrived as a leader?
Like what attributes? Or
Like
what?
an event where you led something and you're like, that is good leadership. Pauline, that's amazing. You did well there.
Okay. I can go. Recently, me and like a group of people were participating in a competition. I won't say what competition. You can guess for yourself if you want to. But we were participating.
Did you post it on the
You post it
story?
on your story.
Did I?
On your personal story.
Yeah.
Not on the group.
It was on my personal story.
Private.
No, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It is. So unless you follow me, you don't know. But yeah, so a group of friends and I participated in that competition. We proceeded, but we didn't proceed. So what I mean is, we made it to hatukutoka round 1, tulitoka like round 3. Yes, tulitoka like round 3. So I feel like for those 2 rounds, good leadership, Pauline. Yeah, I don't say I did the best, but I feel like I tried. Yeah,
I can attest to that.
Where have I led? Oh, so I serve in my church in a leadership-ish position. So yeah, I don't know. We've done so much, my gosh. But yeah, so just the first time we set it up. I've talked about this before. We set a program for teens, and they come to church every Saturday and do stuff. So one of the most recent accomplishments was not the coming. So they did it a second edition in their December-January holiday, and then in addition to that, I wanted them to because they've not performed in church for a really long time. Like, they've not taken over the service. Have we ever taken over the service even as a teenagers? Never.
No, we just did drama.
We just did drama and did a lot of presentations. So I wanted them to take over because it's never happened before in our church. And they did a fantastic job. And they did drama. And I helped direct the play. And it was really good. The person I was working with, shout out to you, Victoria. She was the most competent partner I've ever worked with. So it was good. So it's a very big success. But in the first was been like, if we were not fasting, I would have bought for all of you lunch, and I was like, just buy. Yeah.
we are going to
replace
hizo plans.
But they were going to school. So I was just like, they're not here. They're here. It was an awkward time. But anyway, they did a good job. So hopefully when they come back, we can give them a good reward. Yeah.
Nijua shida kitumia wia huko.
Priscilla.
Okay. When you think about leadership, okay, I think the most recent. What was the question again?
How when you thrived
When
as
I've
a leader.
thrived as a leader, I think the most recent. Okay, if I were to think about it, is maybe in school, like in group presentations or group work. I don't know how. I don't know why. But then I end up being the leader in almost all my group work. So, okay, not all, thankfully, but usually I am. So, yeah, like maybe because I tend not to be a procrastinator. So I organize people, you'll do this, you'll do that, have this work done by this time. I push people to do their work. And also, this semester, I was nominated as the class rep in my English class. Imagine.
Hats off to you.
Imagine. But thankfully, I don't have many people in my class. It's
How
my
many are
7 a.m. class.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So it's like less than 15 people.
Can you imagine? Priscilla goes to school at 7
7
a.m.
a.m. That is
But she
ungodly.
lives there.
Willingly.
No,
Oh, okay.
that is ungodly.
So, no, I agree
That
with
sleep
you.
in the morning.
In a class.
That's the one that slaps.
Hey,
And then you have to wait. Oh,
I could never take a 7
on Thursday and on Friday.
You have a?
Class at 7 on Thursday and on Friday.
On
In
Friday.
person.
On a Friday, where I can.
Friday.
Friday.
In
Mimi 9 a.m. huniua.
Ayo, si
Sasa
mambo ya
7.
Hayo si mambo ya Mungu.
the show to outlast 7 a.m.
Yeah.
You will sign it 4
I'd rather leave school at 7 p.m. than have to attend at 7 a.m.
I think
know.
same.
No. You have to go to school at 7 p.m. on a Friday. That is why you are
True.
Yeah.
And me, you know me, I have to navigate Nairobi City Town CBD. Difficult.
Yeah, so yeah, so far the experience is good. Yeah, it's just now getting to it like I think for me leadership tests my tests my patience. Yeah. So it tests my tolerance, my perseverance, my patience, working with people, working with their pace.
It's a lot.
It's yeah.
But can I just also say, like, to the viewers, because you don't know Priscilla personally, Priscilla is a very nice person, so she'll give people, like, grace when she's, leading them. So that's why it tests her patience. Mtu kama mimi, nakupatia hii deadline, usipofanya by hii deadline, story imeisha hivyo. You move swiftly. So, yeah, I think people would prefer you in most cases as a group leader.
Yeah.
Watu wananichukianga.
Tamix.
I think for me, was in high school. In high school, I used to be the tech lead in Form 2. And I guess I did a really good job. So all the way through Form 4, there was this teacher. Shout out to him. There's this teacher who really, I guess, saw potential or really liked what I was doing. So all the way to Form 4, I was the tech lead, and honestly, it did a number on my self-esteem, that someone believed in me and believed I could take up this role all the way. So that was my motivation to grow in my leadership. And I think I did a good job. Those who are tech-led, Mutani show, say I did a good job. I think I did a good job. Anyway.
You would never know.
Yeah, I didn't tech lead guy.
Yeah.
I'm actually the only one, me and Pauline, who are in separate classes. But anyway, that is nice to know. We'll move on to the next question, which is how you failed as a leader. How you think you didn't.
Wow.
Hapo niliharibu maneno.
And I have in first
Pauline.
year. Sorry,
Pauline.
yes. Anyway, in first year, I was group lead for a project, and I didn't know these people, and then I didn't want to come off as too strong or too like mean or too. I just didn't want to come off as somebody.
Too much.
Yeah, I didn't want to come off as too much. So I was super lenient, but then I ended up doing the entire project basically by myself.
Oh wow.
So I was like, I did this to myself because everyone was like, okay, I didn't do it by myself. I had like a lot of help, but the like presenting and the preparing for presentation and the compiling, I did most of that by myself. So because of that, I felt like I didn't do as well as a leader. And yes, like individual people should have known like to be more
Proactive.
to be more proactive, but like I feel like there as a leader I didn't do very well in leading.
So you see this second installment of the teens coming back. The so we call it teens hangout. So they come every Saturday and we have like different things. And then now we went to a children's home, and then now there was this thing of them preparing for Teen Sunday. That Teen Sunday part, phenomenal, great. Teens hangout and the children's home, because it's a children's home. It was shambles. First of all, planning for it, people showing up, because people need to pay for their own transport. So people paying for their own transport, finding that transport. Well, we went to this Matatu Sacco. I love them to death. I do. But under that circumstance, ninachukia kidogo. So we went to ask them, like, if they could, like, provide transport. And then they told us yes. Then, like, the day before we went to the children's home, they said no. So, like, now planning. First of all, I planned for all of these things by myself. Now Teen Sunday I had help. So, but now for the children's home and for Teen Sunday, I planned for everything by myself in a time where I was getting up for exams and doing like big assignments, presentations, in school. Because in my school, everything, like all the big assignments and all the group work, everything, now exams, that like it happens in one time frame. So the last couple of weeks of school are always hectic. So I was doing all of that, I had all that academic pressure on top of being the only one planning for all of these things. So yeah, there I felt as a leader because okay, first of all, to my credit, the person who was running the children's home didn't inform me that the day we agreed on was double booked, but we booked first, so he didn't inform us that it was double booked. So we didn't get to spend that much time with the children. We were like outside the whole time, just by ourselves, chilling, waiting for instructions, waiting for directives. What else happened that day? It was a mess. But the reason the failure was on my part mostly because I didn't consult anyone for help. I just assumed like everybody was busy if nobody's coming forward to be like, hey, can I help you with this? Hey, can I help you with that? There are two people who helped me, but then I shouldered a lot of the stress on myself. So I learned next time, do not wait for others to come to you. Go to them. Yeah, and I'm never planning another children's home visit again. Yeah.
Priscilla.
Okay.
Sorry.
For me, I think it's similar to like what you guys have said. Basically, having to do things by myself because I'm too afraid to ask for help, or I'm just, as Paul maybe says, I'm too nice.
You're not too nice in that regard.
Yeah, but like I can be nice. Like I can like, no, I don't want to stress you. Let me do it. Yeah, and then I stress myself. Yet it's also meant to be your stress. Anyhow, what else? Where I failed as a leader. Well, yeah, I think that's the one that comes. Oh yeah, no, I don't think I failed. That one needed my peace of mind. Yeah, but that's okay. Yeah, I think that's what comes to my mind right now.
Okay, I think for me, so yeah, last year towards the end, P3T decided that I was the leader. In their minds, by their minds I mean the rest of everyone else, like I was their leader, but in mine I was really not. So when they affirmed my leadership towards the end of the year, I don't know, I guess I overthought it. Kuna overthought. I overthink
So what
it.
would be the person?
I overthought it.
overthought it,
Yeah. So I think I analyzed and overthought it. And I know my leadership style, not that I really know it, but I think for the most part, when I'm leading people, like it's a quiet but stern but chilled kind of leadership. Does it make sense? So, but this time, like you know how like, and then I leave room for people to do their own thing, as long as the outcome is what is required. But now in this particular case, I was on these guys' necks about but social media, I needed to be on your necks. I was on people's necks about social media. I was on Pearl's neck about the snippets. And you know, the thing is, like, Pearl just wanted to express herself creatively. Me, I'm there, I'm like, no, I think there's this other software you could use. It's actually so much easier. I really didn't need to be like that. I really, like, Pearl just wanted to learn how to express herself creatively. So there was no need for me to come with this whole other. Anyway, all I'm trying to say is that in that, I think it must have been the first month. It was part of December, part of January. I was on people's necks, and it was the thing is, we realize.
No, it wasn't that bad. I just thought you were giving us a strong suggestion. That's it. But I didn't think anything of it.
I think for me, the reason I realized was because it wasn't my typical leading style. I was going, and I was in my mind. I was trying too hard to prove something that you guys already knew anyway. So yeah, I think that's how I thought I failed as a leader. And then I also listened to another episode by I listened to a podcast by Jackie Hill Perry and the husband. It's called 30 Minutes with the Perrys. And they're basically talking about submission. But if you're going to be submissive, you're being submissive to a leader, kind of. So they also brought out some aspects of leadership that made me realize, yeah, I need to relax a bit. I need to chill. Yeah.
Do you feel like, and this goes out to all of you, you can all answer it. Do you feel like at the time you are feeling imposter syndrome of, how can I lead these people who, as you said, they are all leaders. So how can I be the leader of leaders and I don't feel adequate enough? So now you doing all of these things, was you like
Be trying to prove something.
To prove something. And also like the rest of you, have you felt imposter syndrome in your leadership before?
I think this is the one time I felt imposter syndrome because you guys you have really strong personalities. So
You're welcome.
yeah. So I think for me that was the intimidating bit when it came to leading you guys. Like the fact that you have such strong personalities. And then I feared, before joining the podcast, kind of, I feared confrontation. But like being with you taught me how to confront appropriately. So yeah.
Hiyo ni mimi anaongelelea.
Nepal. It's actually pure Nepal. But yeah, there was definitely some level of imposter syndrome.
No. Like, imposter syndrome in leadership. Sometimes I just feel like I don't know what I'm doing. Like you see, for the teenagers, for that, I felt imposter syndrome trying to plan that children's home. But that's why I roped in my beautiful, wonderful friend Vicky. I'm mentioning you 500 times this episode. But that's why I wrote her in, like, even for the like pre-visit and things like that. But now, I could add, you see the stress that I could add, I didn't know what I was doing. I really felt imposter syndrome, and that is why it failed. So yeah, now I've learned next time to get do you know that that delegative style of surrounding yourself, delegative leadership style of surrounding yourself with people smarter than you? Yeah, that is what I intend to do next time. I am jumping into a venture that I don't know what I am doing. Yes.
Me, okay, I don't think I felt imposter syndrome. What I have felt though is, so you know how you know how you tell yourself, I'm entering my mysterious era. I'm not gonna talk to people, I'm not gonna be, yeah, but me, my personality, it can't allow. It really can't. I've tried so hard, it really can't allow. So I've, during that time when I was leading that group project, that was me trying to enter my mysterious era, you know. I was trying not to be all up in everybody's business, but then now look, I ended up doing the work all of by myself. So I don't think I've ever felt imposter syndrome per se, but every time I've tried to change my personality and sort of like change my leadership style, it's just ended up in shambles.
I feel like for me, I think the situation that comes up in my head is when we went for World Scholars. So for Nairobi and Durban round,
Should we tell people what that is? We just leave
It's a competition.
Yeah.
Google.
if you're curious.
We went for Nairobi and Durban round. We had I had the same group, yeah. But then when we qualified to go to Yale for the Tournament of Champions, yeah. When we qualified, now one of our teammates couldn't make it for that round due to other reasons. So we had to, certain groups like condensed or dismantled, yeah. So we got someone from a different group to take the place of our teammate, and it was not the same. Yeah, it was not the same. Like, I found myself having to push this person a lot, and it reached a point that now my style of leadership, as you mentioned, had to change because I realized my style will not work on her. So now I had to put on a different face, and it wasn't my best, but it was so hard. It's not what I'm usually accustomed to, but then it made me feel like a bad.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you.
But that's not like a bad person. You can just use
No,
the
but
word.
if you say a bad person, it doesn't.
It doesn't
It doesn't translate what you're trying.
Yeah.
You feel like that person.
Yeah.
So it was very, I just didn't like it. To be honest, I wouldn't want to be put in such a situation. But one thing I've realized with even my group work, sometimes I have to put that. I have to. Yeah.
Imebidi, man. So, based, like I said, guys, all of us here are leaders, yeah? We've been leaders and we continue to be leaders, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Period.
Yeah, always growing.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
If you don't know,
Forget about it.
forget about it.
If you don't get it, forget about it. So, for you guys, do you think leadership, in your particular life, do you think your leadership is born or bred?
Ooh.
Can I go?
Nice.
Wow.
So here's the thing. I think with leadership and with a lot of things, it is teachable. Everything is teachable. And I don't know about everything, but most things are teachable. But there are certain personality traits that people are born with innate, that just make leadership come easier to them. You know, so people who are more super assertive, you know, like for them being a leader probably doesn't, because they're used to making decisions as fast as they need to. So such personality traits can make leadership come easier to them, as opposed to someone who struggles with coming to decisions quickly.
It's like,
Okay,
Yeah.
Before we go to Pearl, Pauline, so is for you, do you think personally you were born a leader ama you were bred?
Now I don't know, cause I'm super outgoing, always have been. I don't know about always have been. There's a time when I was a teenager where life was a bit funny, but everybody's a bit funny when they're a teenager. True. But like for the most part, being in front of crowds and telling people what to do has never come difficult for me. So I think part of it was innate. But I would say I have learned over time to be a better leader, and for it to come from a position of generally wanting all of us to move forward and not just wanting to be the one talking, because for me a lot of it just comes from wanting to be the one talking.
Pali pal pal. You know that's how I've actually saved you.
Sasa mbona unaambia podcast? Sasa mbona unaambia tafadhali usege hiyo. Tafadhali please take two.
Pali pal pal.
Please take three.
Itatokea tu bloopers.
Tafadhali. Please call me by my government name at all times.
Nyambura. Ama Nyams.
Nyambura.
Tell you the way I took any variation of any of my names. It's crazy.
Okay, Pal Nyambura Nganga.
You don't tell the podcast my.
Sasa wewe government names.
Nataka jina ya kwanza.
Pal.
Thank you. So the interesting thing about that question is that we were covering it in my classes the other day.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So you see, is this the first episode coming out? Is it coming out Monday? This one? This Monday? Yeah. So if you saw my stories on Thursday, I'd taken over the account. Follow us on Instagram. We are doing
we are being very good there.
Yeah.
I can say that social media are doing the thing.
So if you saw my post, you saw that I was attending one of my classes and having representations. I was talking about leadership in my subtopic, and I think me being a leader is not necessarily born. I just feel like I've been in an environment that is, comprised of leaders. Like both my parents, like my mom was always a Bible study leader. My dad, like people look up to him for different things. My brother was a senior prefect in high school.
He was the dining hall.
He was the dining hall captain. Sorry, yeah, one of those things. So he was a leader in school, and so we've always I've always been surrounded by leaders, So I think that's why. And then also my family, we're a very initiative-oriented family. Like something needs to get done, it will get done. It's I don't know, you get. So I don't know if I'm born considering my psychological background.
Gosh, I think you talk about it every episode.
That should be my blooper reel. So based off of what I've learned in the last week, legitimately, I think to some extent maybe I have leadership traits, but no, largely no. I think I just move. Yeah.
You guys are giving such vague answers. I think yes, but no. Maybe.
You can't be 1,000% sure.
No, but you're not born a leader. I don't think leaders are born. I think sometimes they're made.
Yeah.
A lot of the times they're made.
I agree for the most part.
I feel, me personally, like leadership was not, because like in my younger years I was a really shy kid, but then as I grew older, like I kind of got out of my shell and I was exposed to leadership, and while being a leader I think like it felt like home. Kind of being a leader felt like home. So to some, like, personally, I feel like I just didn't know that part of myself because I wasn't exposed to it. But the minute I was exposed to it, it felt right.
So were you made a leader? Or were you born
Me,
a
now
leader?
that's the thing. I think I was born a leader.
But
Just, yeah.
don't you think that anybody can be a leader?
Anybody, yes. So that's why I'm asking you, were you born or bred?
I think.
Oh, you personally as a leader?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Me, I was bred. My environment bred me.
I think this question is just simply nature
Nature
versus
versus
nurture.
nurture.
To be honest,
Hata wewe hiyo degree.
To see, cause by the way.
it reminds me of what we're learning again last sem about nature versus nurture, because the way the question is framed, like nature, is it something you're born with, or nurture, is it something you learn? So is it something you acquire over your experiences? And I think it's a mix of both. It can't be one. It just can't be one. It has to be both. So for instance, like what Pauline said about like getting to know your personality, I think your personality makes it easier for you to fit into that role, but at the same time, it doesn't make it impossible for you to learn that role. So
Yes, I
it's,
agree.
yeah, it's a matter of mix and match, both. It can't be either.
So I think. Oh, okay. So I think yes, I was born with it, but I've also learned along the way. So there's been aspects of both.
You people are giving such vague answers.
Says the one.
No, but I've.
But Pauline, you said bred.
Yeah. No, I said born for the most part. Okay, I said both. I would lie.
Mine is bred. I don't think it's born. Because if you look at me in just my natural habitat, so many people, like in school, so many people they say, Paul, you're so quiet. I know you guys don't think I'm quiet, but in school, so many people are just like, yeah, Paul is this nice, quiet girl. And I'm like, you don't know me.
Okay, so then I somewhat agree with Pal, because I don't think you can be born a leader. You can be born with personality traits that make leadership easier.
Yeah.
See, that's what we mean.
But
No, you're saying that you were born a leader.
No, but I think that's what Tamiron meant. Like, there are certain characteristics that predestine you to become a leader.
But also, guys, biblically speaking, can't people be born leaders?
Only Jesus was born as a leader. Only Jesus.
Aren't people born leaders?
Divine kingship.
Hiyo tuachie Mungu
That's
hiyo.
a stressful topic, because some people use that as a way to be like, you can't me, you can't question me.
Yeah. And then also people can't rise up the ranks. Wherever you're born into, you stay there.
It was sometimes just a system of control. Other times it was like, for real, God has called you. But
who did God call at birth? Jesus.
No, but
It's not
even
Jesus.
like,
No,
like,
John the
so-
Baptist.
John the Baptist.
Samuel.
Samuel wasn't called at birth. Samuel was called when he was much older. When he was like 12, 13.
But
See,
see,
the
Hannah,
fact that
that
see, Hannah.
Oh, because of
Yeah.
Hannah. Sorry. I'm embarrassing myself.
But even then, let me agree with you, Kidogo. He had to be raised in the temple for him to then be called to serve God.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that was because of Hannah. It wasn't because of him personally. It was because of the prayers that Hannah had made.
Same. Even John the Baptist, he had to be consecrated as I've forgotten that name.
Going
They are that.
back to Samuel, look at Eli's sons. Eli's sons were also brought up in the temple, but they were corrupt and they were not following the ways of the Lord.
So maybe you.
So
But
they
no, but
have to be a
Hannah
hand
prayed.
of God.
Did Eli pray over his sons? We don't know that part. Hannah prayed over Samuel.
Did Eli not would have
Maybe look at pastors' children.
true.
Yeah.
You're saying pastors don't pray for their children?
No, I'm saying pastors pray for their children, but Eli could have done the same thing that pastors do today. You love your job more than you love your children.
Or they automatically ignore the fact.
You know, that's I have a friend whose parent is a pastor, and like that's exactly what she was telling me. Like the congregation comes first, and then them.
Which is not
And
right.
yeah, and that's, she was telling me that's why you find a lot of kids kind of rebel because they want to be seen.
But maybe they also ignore the fact that, what is it called? By virtue of you thinking you have the anointing, you think the anointing is also
Passed down.
passed down.
Yeah.
Like, what is it called? Generational. Yeah.
I think that's why I agree with Karen. I think there's a distinct difference between divine kingship and like leadership as we know it in the world. Because that one that's divine, it really doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter where you are. Mungu akisema ni wewe tu.
Okay.
It's interesting how we got biblical because my next question was very much biblical. It's about godly leadership. Well, we know how godly leadership should look like. I think this is just me concluding the conversation, to be honest. So, when we talk about godly leadership, the perfect example, Jesus, you know, he was the perfect servant leader. Alikuwa anaosha miguu za watu, which was unheard of.
Am I the only one who finds that whole entire thing so funny? I couldn't imagine. I know it's cultural context and I'm missing cultural context and all of that. Don't come to me with that theology. I understand. But, like, it's so funny. Can you imagine just chilling and then someone just stands up and starts washing people's feet? Imagine. It's so funny.
But yeah, we say
What would Jesus do?
WWJD. What would Jesus do? He's a, you know, like, he's our perfect example of what good leadership should be. And I found a Bible verse I think we should highlight. It's Philippians 2 from verse 5 to 11. In your relationship with one another, have the same mindset as Jesus Christ, who, being in very nature God, did not consider equality with God something to be used to his own advantage. You hear that, guys? Leadership is not for you.
Yeah.
It's not for you.
Yeah, I really needed to learn that.
Government of Kenya must care.
Anyway, so who, being in very nature God, did not consider equality with God something to be used to his own advantage. Rather, he made himself nothing by taking the very nature of a servant, being made in human likeness, and being found in appearance as man, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to death, even death on the cross. Anyway, I think the relevant bit was Apo Jew. You know, Jesus didn't take the fact that, like, he was good, but he didn't use that to his own advantage and bully people to get things done. You know, I'm God. Can you clean my feet? You know? Instead, he was like, bring your feet, I'll clean them for you, you know? So that's the same thing as us. And as much as some people are of the notion that I am naturally more of a servant than a leader, I feel like there are positions you're put in where you just have to be a leader. And remember what Jesus did, you know? And follow in those footsteps. And don't take advantage of your position.
Amen.
Yeah. Amen. We're done?
Yes, sir.
Anyone has anything else to say?
Show love.
Show love.
Showing love doesn't mean being a pushover.
Yeah,
But show
very
love.
true. There's also something called tough love. So
Period. So anyway, I think this is it for today.
Oh my god!
I don't know why you insist with that hair flip.
I always insist with hair flips. Even with no hair. It's my thing, guys.
I need to record it and put it online. It's a need.
So anyway, thank you for joining us for this episode. Like we said, guys, we are so very much active on our social media. A lot of the references we make on this podcast were seen on our social media first. Our social media stories.
I had the
seen on
inside
Instagram.
scoop.
Now see you don't know because you don't follow us. Guys, come on. Acha kujiembarrass.
Come
End up-
on.
Come on. Come on. Stop embarrassing yourself. Go to the show notes. Look.
Look, okay.
Look
it's
for our
okay.
link tree. Our Instagram is there. Actually, it's not even that far. It's literally our show. Sikari unaekanga.
All the time.
All the time. Iko hapo
There.
tu.
Amwezi sema iko.
Amwezi sema. Iko hapo. So follow us on social media. In case you actually want to physically go look for us, we are P3T pod. No.
Yeah.
At P3T podcast. Hivyo tu on Instagram. And then pale Gmail, you want to sponsor us, maybe Coca-Cola, you've had our cry.
Yeah, my cry. Yeah.
You want to finally do the thing, our email is at p3tpodcastke@gmail.com. Yes, amazing. Anyway, so we've come to an end. I guess we'll see you in the next episode.
Nataka niangalie moto ya Coca-Cola.
It's a feeling.
Fake fan.